Hey YouTube, what's up? It's me, Amaxter. We're back with season 2 of Behind the Mod, and for this first episode, we have Raoul joining us, who is the author of Refined Storage and Range Pups. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, so what got you started with Minecraft modding in the first place?
So initially when I started playing Minecraft, I think everybody hits kind of a wall where you get very bored, and they want to start doing something else. And for me, that was modded. And initially, I was just kind of a player, and since I'm a programmer and I really enjoy making things, I kind of got started with making, mods, and I just, started for myself. Some very crappy mods that I didn't really enjoy myself, and of course, after a while, you kind of get better and with modding, and then refined storage came and ranged pumps came, and that's how I kind of got started.
Huh. And so what kind of inspired you to make your first mod? And was that Refined Storage or was it something else?
No, my first mod was actually a magic mod, um, kind of inspired by Ars Magica. Actually, it was a clone of that mod. You had these spells that you could use, and you could fly and you could have speed and stuff, speed upgrades for your player, kind of. But nothing really became of it, mainly because I didn't have a very good texture artist, and also because the code was very bad, so I never really released it. And then, of course, my second mod was actually refined storage that I started working on initially for Minecraft 1.7. And it took a while until it was ready to release. But once it was ready to release, I was very happy about it. So yeah.
Huh. So Refined Storage is now Minecraft 1.9 and 1.10 mod. Has
Yes.
there been a 1.7 release?
No. The reason for that is because I started with refined storage just for myself, and it's kind of because when I see something that I really enjoy, in this case it was applied energistics, I really feel like recreating it, and I did that for refined storage, but I never really released it because for 1.7, a the version for 1.7 wasn't really that good, and B, applied energistics was out for 1.7, so there was not really any use in releasing it. But as soon as uh, one day I was really bored, and I started porting refined storage to 1.8, which was a really very hard task for me because I was not familiar with the model system in Forge, so it was kind of hard to do. But I did it out of boredom, and then I saw that people were really missing a applied logistics kind of mod for 1.8 and 1.9, so that's why I released it and I polished it so it was ready for release.
Huh. So what was it like to kind of develop that, I guess, not in the open in this case, because you didn't really release it until it was for 1.9. Did the mod evolve at all in your head?
It kind of did. That basic idea was there that it had to be, they had to be storage disks, it had to be a kind of terminal block. But the auto crafting, I didn't really, know how to do that until I actually released the first few versions. Um, I was kind of holding off on adding that because I didn't really know how to implement it in a good way, and to implement it mainly in a unique way. So it's not like a one-to-one clone of applied logistics, which is not really the route I want to go to. So the auto crafting is somewhat different to AE, and I'm happy with that.
Huh. Yeah, it is very similar to applied energistics in lots of ways, but aside from the auto crafting, what ways have you tried to kind of differentiate it and make it its own thing? Or is the focus more on just kind of being applied energistics for newer versions?
Initially, that was a focus, and the core of the mod will, still stay like applied logistics. You have disk drive, storage disks, controller, a grid, a wireless. But in recent versions, I'm really kind of differentiating the mod from applied logistics. I added fluid storage to the core mod, and of course, now the core features are done. Now I can start adding more unique features to it, and fluid storage is the first one of that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And lots of the stuff we kind of did see in AE, but that was with applied energistics add-ons in 1.7, and now I guess you're kind of trying to ship that standard.
Um, Kinda, really. Um, like AE had a lot of add-ons, but I like adding like core features. Like for me, fluid storage is a core feature that has to be in the mod itself. I know maybe for the AE devs that wasn't, but for me it is. So that's why I added it. And when I add stuff to the mod, I mainly look from a standpoint for myself. If I would add this to the core mod, um, there are a lot of features that I wouldn't add. Lots of people have suggested me stuff to add that I just said no, I won't add this because it is too much. Like mod A does this much better than my mod would ever do that. I had a feature request from someone that wanted the destructor block, that breaks blocks. He wanted so it could also destruct blocks in a range, and I said no because you can use buildcraft for that. Once it comes out for 110, of course. So
Yeah.
lots of stuff. I just say let another mod do this. That is out of scope for the storage mod.
Yeah. Do you think there've been like you mentioned that have there been any like I guess community interactions that have influenced the design of the mod? Because lots of the mod is still in early sort of stages and it's on CurseForge, and if you just look at the comments and stuff, clearly it's very active. Lots of people are playing it. Lots of people are having ideas for it. How do you take all that in?
Well, the main source of uh, future suggestions, I'd say, come from GitHub. So people post issues on the issue tracker, and from there I can say, no, I don't want to add this, or yes, I will add this. Um, Also, a lot of people report to CurseForge um, ideas, but I always redirect them to GitHub because that's a more centralized place. So I prefer to get the issues from there and, you know, in one place. It's much easier for me.
Huh. So is so what I mean is like so you're using GitHub for issues, but in terms of non-bug fixing, is there any content stuff that you've added to the mod because of that?
Actually, yes, I can look this up actually in the on the issue tracker. Uh, Suggestions from other people, uh, like for example, mod filtering, where you can use the @ sign in the grid, like you can do in JEI, so you can only see certain items from a mod. Also, the network transmitters, where you can have cableless networks over long distances, was a suggestion that I got from someone else. Like lots of stuff that people have been suggesting me that I've added in myself.
Huh. And for refined, I guess for the roadmap, content you're gonna add, where do you see refined storage going? Are you gonna change the way it's balanced, the textures? I guess what are the main things you see people wanting for the mod, and what do you see yourself, I guess, wanting the mod to be?
So a lot of people wanted, multi-threaded crafting, so crafting tasks that run alongside each other, just like AE had. Um, and in the current version, it's blocking tasks, So if one task runs, the other one doesn't run. It's all one
Mm-hmm.
by one. So in the recent version, I added it so it actually works alongside multiple tasks. Um, Originally, I was kind of holding off to adding that because I thought it was kind of overpowered and maybe kind of difficult to implement. But I added it now because actually I like the idea and also because it plays better with other parts of the mod to just have kind of multi-threaded auto crafting. So that's implemented now. So that was kind of my big mark, let's say, for 1.0. For the future, I want to add more wireless items. Like for example, a wireless crafting monitor, uh, or like a bigger grid view, so you can expand it like in AE, just so more items fit on the screen. Um, and I'm just reading off the issue tracker here. For example, a storage disk manipulator, which I call it, which is the I/O port from AE, so you can quickly get items in and out of the system.
Huh. Yeah, that looks so lots of that stuff does look pretty interesting, especially considering I think Applied Energistics 2 is in the process of being ported to 110, and obviously that's going to take a while because it takes lots of big mods a while. When that happens, what do you think are going to be the main differentiating features in your mod? Like, what are your goals for that?
Well, my main goal is to, like I said, fluid storage is added. Um, but it's kind of difficult to get, to really differentiate it from A because the core ID stays the same, which is the item storage. But I think, after adding um, the features that are now open on the issue tracker, it will be, different enough from A. Like right now, the mechanics in refined storage are somewhat different to A, and I think, I'll just keep going on the same path uh, for adding features that way, really.
Huh. And in terms of balance or just in general gameplay, it seems to me like with 110, we do. It's not like we have a lack of tech mods, but the tech mods I guess we do have are very different. So do you think that's gonna influence or has already influenced the way that your mod and like other mods are designed for 110? Just because the whole kind of sphere is so different than it used to be.
Well, I think actually the opposite. Lots of mods are kind of in their own, um, looking from their own viewpoint. And I've seen people say this on Reddit that the mods are not really balanced when you look at them in a group. Um, for example, a machine from one mod, let's say RF tools, takes 10 times more energy for the same machine in IC2, for example. So I don't think mods are really looking at each other in 110 like they did in 1.7, which may or may not be a good thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, balance is always a difficult thing, and I think we're still. I mean, lots of stuff is using 110, and it's not like we have a lack of content. And just I think 110 is being it's still experimental. We're still trying out new things, even if the mods are stable, the recipe stuff like that. I guess it's still kind of not quite set in stone yet. So refined storage, we have lots of new mod packs for 110 and stuff. It's still, like I said, very experimental. Have you seen refined storage featured in any cool packs or just big content things like that?
Yes, so the first mod pack the first big mod pack refined storage is in ME. I kind of forgot the name of the mod pack. ME. I have to look it up.
Material energy?
Material energy, yes. It was the first big mod pack refined storage was in, and the mod really got a lot of promotion through Reddit. Lots of people learned what the mod is through that, and after that, RS was added to FTB Unstable, and I've heard the FTB team is now working on FTB Infinity, and I hope the mod will be in there probably, since there's not really any good AE style mod alternative out there right now. So it will probably be included in Infinity as well, I hope.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, being featured in FTB is a huge thing, and like you said, just being featured in a pack like Material Energy, which is still big, but not quite FTB Infinity big. Just that having mindshare, like, I think it's really easy nowadays for a cool mod to be on Reddit. Like I saw, for example, Vosky on Twitter the other day complaining about how he saw thermal expansion style mod for 110, and he didn't get why people were getting so excited about that. And it's true, people do get excited about mods like that, but I think that's a good thing, like because people like thermal expansion and applied energistics for a reason. So I think when people see that stuff like that's available for the newest version, that gets them really excited. So do you think that's the main reason why I guess your mod's taken off? Because it really is, according to
Yes,
Curse, it's pretty popular.
it's it's pretty popular, and I think that's because of Reddit, really. And I think it's great because lots of small mods are now getting a lot of traction, and they're getting popularity, uh, and it gives much more chances as opposed to the more bigger mods for smaller mod apps. So it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it is interesting. Like this seems to be a thing that repeats itself. I notice like the tech mods tend to usually stay the same. Like refined storage is kind of more of an evolution rather than a revolution, whereas magic mods kind of change, which can be a good and a bad thing in both cases. Like stability is good, but like you have, I guess for example, I won't want to be someone who's super into Thaumcraft because like. First of all, you can't even get it on the more recent versions, and second of all, it changes so much, which is a good thing. But like, I think especially with tech, people like to feel comfortable. So I do think. Do you think there's a reason for why tech mods like refined storage are so, I guess, easy for people to digest?
Well, mainly because tech mods do one thing, right? They do storage or they do machines. Um, Magic mods, and I kind of hate to do the to differentiate magic and tech, but just to say it more generally, magic mods, um, they they kind of do things in a very unique way. Um, and for 110, for example, you see Ender.io. Um, they have a bunch of machines, but you can use IC2 too, right?
Hmm.
They do the similar things like ore processing or smelting. You can do these with two mods. But Magic, Tomcraft, and Botania are two different things. You can't compare them, and you cannot use them as an alternative. And that's why you see most Magic mods being ported instead of kind of being redone, like Refined Storage was. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sorry about. I know, like, I can understand totally the distinction between magic and tech mods. Sometimes it's a little tricky because, like, with Botania, for example, some magic, mods that would seem like they're magic can just as well be tech mods. So it is a tough thing to do, but yeah, it definitely does seem to me mods like magic mods that have their own systems and stuff are definitely their own different beasts. Shifting, yeah, shifting gears to your newer mod. You have a newer, smaller mod called Ranged Pumps, which is kind of a utility style mod based on an extra utilities feature. Uh, what I guess was it just inspired by hey, I want this in 110?
Well, yeah, definitely. I was playing my 110 world, and I needed loads of energy and I needed loads of lava, but the pump from extra utils wasn't ported yet, so I decided just to make it my own mod because no other mod was doing it already. So range pumps is kind of like a small utility mod that I actually wanted to just keep for myself because I thought no one would really download it, but I just said let me just release it for other people. Um, but there are two different things to refined storage. Um, refined storage was made out of I want to make this. I want to see if I can, recreate that style mod in 110. And range pumps is basically just I needed to create this block. I needed it in my world now, and I can't wait for extra utils to port it.
Yeah. Do you have any other small mods like that that you kind of want to plan to do? Like maybe there's a 1.7 feature that you really want to get in newer versions. Is there anything else like that?
No, I don't play Minecraft enough to know that, and actually barely play even Minecraft. Uh, I just enjoy the modding aspect of it, but sometimes, I I play my world, but there's not really anything I'd say that I like to have in 110, because I usually just adapt to the new mods. But for ranged pumps, well, I kind of needed a ranged pump, so there was nothing to adapt to really.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that's pretty simple, but sometimes people do really like simple mods. I mean, I'm sure there's two or at least two or if there's two or three people who see that in cars and like, oh yes, thank you. This then I guess that's probably worth it. Um, Going to newer versions, we have 111 probably around the corner. The snapshot's being released now. Um, it's a mod developer. What do you anticipate that being like, or is that kind of a stupid question? Like, can you predict the future,
No, not
basically?
really. I kind of have a wish list of like API features I'd like. I just hope one day Minecraft will add a event listener to see if inventory contents change. Because currently, for example, refined storage, and I know AE also had the same issue. They have to rescan the whole inventory constantly to see if there is a change in the inventory, and I just hope Minecraft will one day do something so external mods can detect an inventory change. But I'm not really, I don't think they will never do that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, one can dream. Do you have any like fears that like do you think it's technically do you see it being easy or have you not like followed it enough for that? But like what do you see the porting process being like from what we know about it right now?
Very easy, I think. Very, very easy. As far as I know, there are only new features and bug fixes. And I've heard they changed some um, things like in the item stack, they made it immutable. Um, and that should be easy enough to change. I think it won't be as big as um, 1.7 to 1.8, and I don't even think it will be as big as 1.8 to 1.9. So I'm positive to it.
Oh,
And
well that'd be nice, yeah.
also, I don't really mind porting. I actually enjoy porting, and not many people will say that, but I like to see what changed between versions and to adapt to that. Unless it's a change like 1.7 to 1.8, where I have to redo all the models and item textures, which wasn't fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully it'll be an easy one because I do think we're kind of in the state now where people are like maybe 110 is the big version. And I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe from now on we will actually just progress through the versions quickly. If Mojang, keeps doing what it's doing.
Let's hope one day there will be a good modding API that won't require to rebuild the whole mod on version changes. But as you said,
Yeah.
one can only dream.
There have been many attempts at that, but nothing has quite worked yet. Though I think we're getting closer, so that's nice. Um, I guess more generally, what do you plan to do with modding, or just programming in general, related to Minecraft in the future or the near future?
I have no idea. I was actually busy on a tech mod, kind of like IC2 and thermal expansion, which uses Tesla instead of RF for its own power system. But I didn't really work on that. It had a lot of aspects from IC2, like voltages and explosions, but I didn't really work on it really. So it's on it's on my to-do list for the very far future.
Yeah, I mean, we could always. I think if you're gonna make a tech mod, now or sort of now, like near future is the time because, there's still people who are gobbling up just the idea of thermal expansion in 110. So it definitely is a good time to do that. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been awesome having you on for this first episode. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you all of you guys for watching this. Hope you enjoyed this, especially you fans of refined storage. Looks like you have some stuff to look forward to, so that's nice. And yeah, this has been the first episode of season 2 of Behind the Mod. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.